Additional little custom Lomi Plano from His Majesty King David Upeii, 10,000 Lomi Plano Buka, Ikamon Sem long His Majesty. Behind time, by big plus something, by Kamon Buka, Ikamon Geta long hand from His Majesty. But message me play Kamon time long Buka, you play God dressing His Majesty na put him stamp, and also an appointment. Lomi Plan Buka by Kamotan, all the customary rights Lomi Plan, Lokaputi Manta, Lomi na King Uni, His Majesty, what I all get a power, Long Custom, Long Buka. What time is now? Thank you, too.
Council, International Security Representative, Governors of Eastern and West Paradise, Solomon Islands, Town Governments, Papala, Mekamoy, ABG, Ministers of the Crown, Governor of Central Bank, Governor of Albom, Governor of Community Bank, Members of the Crown, of the High Priest, of the Chief Governor, Proprietor and Tutor Priest David Kripasi, Commanders and Soldiers of the Crown, Mr. Workforce, Ramapo Trades and Government, and graduating attendants, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to the 23rd Multi-Millionaires Graduation Ceremony. During our 21st graduation, I said that it could be our last graduation for locals before we start bringing our PNG client investors for graduation. However, immediately thereafter, more locals from North and Central Bougainville registered for graduation, forcing us to organize yet a couple more graduations, as you can all see. Therefore, I cannot really say whether or not this is surely the very last graduation for locals, because there are still more locals rushing and registering for graduation. Since we don't have enough tents, guest houses, or motels to accommodate too many people, we can't really tell when exactly we will be able to bring our clients and investors from PNG. It could be next week or the following week, but again, if more locals register for graduation next week, we still have to graduate them before we bring our brethren from PNG, West Papua, SI, and Fiji. The good news from the PNG side is that most international travel restrictions owing to COVID-19 pandemic have been lifted. However, travel restrictions between PNG and Bougainville have not been fully lifted yet. Even the 14 days quarantine period is still in place. Therefore, I cannot really pinpoint as to when exactly we bring our PNG clients to investors for graduation. I want to fly them as soon as possible, but it all depends again on these issues. Four parts of Uvistract. I've said this many times before, and I'll say it again now, that no one knows the real meaning of Uvistract. Of course, I've said many times before that Uvistract is the new system for the entire universe, not just for planet Earth and not just for Bougainville or PNG, it's for the entire universe and all creation. And we all know that since no one can see the ends of the universe, no one is able to grasp or understand the fullness of the full message of the Uvistract system. However, there are four major aspects or programs of Uvistract that need to be understood. The first is called universal vision. We have a big universal vision to be accomplished. Our vision is not just for Bougainville, not just for PNG or Melanesia, not just for Pacific Islands, not just for Asia Pacific, not just for planet Earth, and not just for the solar system, but for the entire universe and all creation. And we all know that although the universe is too big for anyone to see its ends, it still sits on the palm of its creator. And in other words, God is greater than his creation. We have a universal vision for a new heaven and new earth, wherein all the remaining prophecies of the Bible, etc., are destined to be fulfilled. We all know the vision and motto of the system. The Lord prophesied the kingdom of heaven must be established on our planet now. The original kingdom that was given to Adam in the Garden of Eden 6,000 years ago must be restored again. Likewise, from a cultural angle, the original kingdom of Papara, Wekotantaro, Kupuna, etc., that existed in time immemorial must be restored now. The second aspect or program of Uvistract is called universal strategy. We have a unique universal strategy that no one else really understands. That's why most people, including our own citizens and clients, investors, etc., do not really understand what we are doing to make things happen for them. Our strategy is unique. The battles we fight are also unique, for we are not really fighting against flesh and blood. Our battle strategy is not carnal, but mighty in pulling down of strongholds. You have already seen how we have won all our battles to date, despite the fact that governments, police, militaries, churches, central banks, and world banks, etc., were all up against us. We still managed to win. We won them because none of them knows our battle strategy, and we don't publicize our battle strategy. We don't want the enemy to know our battle strategy. It's only between God in heaven and myself. The third aspect or program of Uvistract is called universal coordination. We have a big responsibility to coordinate the whole world towards our universal vision. Over the years of my research prior to commencing the Uvistract system in 1998, I noticed that everyone was doing some great things. For example, I saw churches and religions were doing some great things according to their peculiar interpretations and programs. They were saving lives, providing services, and maintaining peace, law and order in society. But I saw that they were all backbiting and criticizing each other based on their own sectarian interpretations. Each one thought they were the only true church or true religion and that all the others were wrong. Churches were arguing and condemning each other over little things like day of worship, 666, Antichrist, water baptism, speaking in tongues, etc., etc. History confirms that religious conflicts often ended up in fights, killings, arson, etc., etc. History also confirms how religious conflicts between Judaism, Christianity, and Muslims ended up in the killing of many millions of people. For example, the case of Crusaders versus Muslims in the attempt to take over Israel left millions dead. Even today, you can read on internet mass killings orchestrated in the name of church or religion. It's still going on even now as I'm speaking. I asked myself, how on earth can churches or religions promote hatred when they're supposed to be promoting love? That's where the word coordination came in. I realized that there's no overall coordination. Everyone, church or government or country was doing something they believed was good for humanity according to the founders or interpretations. The problem or missing link was the word or concept of coordination. There was no proper overall universal coordination here on Earth in the physical world. That's why I had to establish the system to coordinate all of them. That's why, it's also why you can see every Christian church, religions, including Muslims, Judaicists, and Hindus, Buddhists, etc., joining us daily. They are all part of the big universal kingdom of heaven and its system. The fourth aspect or program of Uvistract is called universal finance. I saw that without our own finance, it's not possible to transform society. I checked with the World Bank, IMF, UN, etc., and realized that they were not willing to finance someone else's universal vision for world transformation. They can't finance something that is not in their interest anyway. Moreover, I saw that without our own monetary system, Bougainville Island will still remain a puppet province of PNG and our colonizers. We must have our own funds to finance ourselves to victory. If someone else finances us, we will always be their slaves. If the World Bank or IMF finances us, we'll remain their stooges forever. If China finances us, we'll also become their slaves forever. This is not a new thing for us. Even the Old Testament times, King Solomon of Israel realized this law and said it in his Proverbs that the rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is a slave of the lender. Proverbs 22, verse 7. That's why I had no option but to just do something and save our people. I'm glad that after 21 years, I finally graduated in 2019, last year, with a doctorate in prophecy. And from this year onwards, 2022 onwards, I'm glad to be graduating thousands of my multi-billionaire friends, clients, investors, citizens, etc., etc. Self-financing. Self-financing is a very important concept in our fight for a debt-free, independent, and sovereign nation. If we cannot finance ourselves, it's a clear indication that we are slaves. Only slaves cannot finance themselves. Slaves spend their whole lives working for a master. The master does not pay them anything because he's already bought them for a price. See what happened to our ABG years ago. It's still heavily depending on patronage funds from its master PNG. Even after 15 years of existence, it's still a puppet of PNG. But gladly, from now onwards, as we unite and finance ABG won't be a puppet anymore. Malaysian prophecy, 1999. In 1999, I was on my way to Australia from Fiji. Along the way, one of my friends from PNG, Oskawa, phoned and introduced me to a certain prophet from Malaysia. I therefore made a detour and ended up in Malaysia. There was an international businessmen's conference going on. Several PNGians were also there. During one of the prayer sessions, as we lined up in the room, the prophet, Dr. Jonathan David, passed by and saw something very different and unique about me. After the prayer session, he called me into his office with a couple of other PNGians. Then he asked, "Brother, I want to know what exactly are you doing? Because when I was passing by you, I saw millions of spirits, including native and indigenous spirits, all wanted to kill you. I saw everyone in anger, rising in anger and hatred, and shouting in the top of their voices, saying, 'Kill him, kill him, kill him.' It seems that the whole world is against you. Everyone, every spirit, every cultural spirit, and every kindred just wants to kill you. Therefore, please let me know in confidence what you are doing, what you are really doing," unquote. I let one of our pastors from PNG, late Sakin Tamalabai, who explained to the prophet what I was doing. Then the prophet asked me, "Are you able to handle it? Are you able to complete what you have started?" My response was, "Sure, by God's grace and favor, I will definitely complete my mission." The prophet then replied, "Thank you." He then replied, "Thank you for the good answer. You surely finished your race victoriously." I'm just sharing this little testimony because it reminds me of the kind of opposition from people, including governments and authorities, I had to pass through until my graduation last year. He saw that vision in 1999, 21 years ago, when I was still in the beginning stages of the system. Today is 2020, and I have survive those million spirits he saw, and I'm gladly graduating my multimillionaire friends, clients, and investors. As from this year onwards, when our multimillionaire graduates help out in financing the world, all those opposing spirits will be put to shame. There will be no more. All power and authority. I'm graduating you as multimillionaires because your investments have reached the million mark in the above. I'm graduating you because God himself graduated me to do what I'm doing. And God in heaven first graduated me at Corky in Port Moresby in 1998 to kickstart the system. He again graduated me here in 2016 in Toronto to begin providing government services, health, dental, education, etc. Finally, God graduated me again last year, 2019, with full power and full authority in heaven and earth. I now have full power and authority to establish the theocratic kingdom and government of heaven here on earth. Nothing whatsoever can stop me. Those of you who were here in Toronto in the last few years can recall the above two graduations. In summary, the process is known as drawing down of powers. For example, while the ABG was in the process of drawing down powers from PNG or Waigani, I was in the process of drawing down powers from heaven. It took me 18 years to download powers and graduate here in Toronto in 2016. It took me another 3 years to download all the power and authority in heaven and on earth to graduate again here in 2019. All in all, it took me a total of 21 years to download all power and authority in heaven and on earth. Now it's your turn to graduate. By graduating you, I'm offloading all my powers onto you so you can also go out and transform the world with your multi-millions. Know that your first graduation is as multi-millionaires. Who knows? In the years to come, when you reach billions, I might again graduate you as multi-billionaires. And again, much later, when you reach trillions, I will be just too happy to graduate you as multi-trillionaires, and so on and on. Bougainville fought against the system. What most people do not realize yet is that Bougainville fought against the system and lost 20,000 lives in the process of fighting. And because we fought against the system, we must establish an alternative system. We can't just fight against the system and surrender to it again. It's so logical. If you fight against one system, you must establish your own alternative system. Uvistract came about as a result of a fight against the old system, and it's the end result. We fought against the old system because we wanted a new system. We removed the old system because we wanted to replace it with our own system. Only a system can remove another system. A little national, provincial, or autonomous government cannot remove the global system. No. Only a system can remove and replace another system. Governments can only remove or replace governments. Churches can only remove or replace churches. Organizations can only remove or replace organizations. A currency can only be replaced by another currency. A bank can only be replaced by another bank. A monetary system can only be removed or replaced by another monetary system. A big universal system can only be removed or replaced by another big universal system. The Western civilization, some people still have not grasped yet what I've been trying to explain here too. Some people see Uvistract as a little canteen type of organization. They think it belongs to just one man only. Some think it belongs to a family. Some think it belongs to the Tono people. Others think it belongs to the Shiva people. Some think it belongs to the Megami government. Others think it belongs to Bougainvilleans only. Others think it belongs to Melanesians. Others think it belongs to Pacific Islanders only. So on and on. Uvistract belongs to all of you, all of us. My friends, as I explained above, Uvistract is too big or too wide or too high or too deep. Just as no one has been able to see the ends of the universe, no one is able to fully grasp the size and magnitude of the system. Everyone has his or her own interpretations based on their own knowledge and experiences, revelations, etc. I'm explaining all this to make it clear to everyone that no one is able to stop the rollout of the Uvistract system. Everyone who tried to stop the system has failed miserably. All the leaders, governments, prime ministers, presidents, pastors, churches, etc., that tried to condemn and or stop the system have all failed. Just remember that more than 100 years ago, when the Western civilization came upon our country or region, no one was able to stop it. Our forefathers and grandparents did not have any power to stop it, the Western civilization. This new system just came by force and established itself in our country. Likewise, in the same manner, no one is going to stop the new system from taking over our island or region again. Just as no one was able to stop the Western civilization when it came upon us, no one is going to stop the new system from taking over. Do not block people. I've heard that some of our people in Central have been blocking our people from ABG side from coming to the banking. Some people wanted to come and open accounts in IBOM or Community Bank and so on, but they were not allowed to come. Let me state very clearly that Uvistract is for everyone. As I said above, it's not just for me, it's not for family, it's not for Tongu, it's not for Siwa, it's not even for just Bougainvilleans, not even just for PNG and Solomon Islands or Malaysians, not even just for Asia, it's for the entire universe as explained above. Just remember that just as no one was able to stop the Western civilization, no one will be able to stop the new system from being rolled out. The system is here to stay forever. Our system that is based on principles of abundance and surplus is here to replace the old system that is based on lack and scarcity. Our system of coordination and complementary relationships will replace the old system of competition and rivalry. Our system of love, joy, and peace will replace the old system of envy, hatred, and bitterness. When our colonizers came to our country or region, they introduced many things to us, to our people. They brought in a new monetary system, a new banking system, a new currency system, a new political system, a new banking system, a new governing system, a new legal and judicial system, a new trade and commerce system, a new education training system, a new information, media and communication system, a new religious doctrinal system, a new defense security system, a new calendar, etc., etc. Everything was new. For instance, our forefathers did not know anything about the Roman calendar that rules our world today. The calendar in the calendar started in July when the coconut tree bears fruit. The papaya calendar had 14 months, named after 14 different types of food they ate at the time before Wakakandal created food for them through a special clay pot. Every month was named after one of those foods. The week started on what we now call Wednesday. But when this Western civilization came upon them, they left everything and followed the Roman Gregorian calendar. This is just one little example. I don't have time to touch on all the other things they had to forego to follow the new system when it came upon them. This system came with great power such that no one was able to reject it. It came like a flood or tsunami such that our forefathers had to just accept it. In exactly the same way, our new system is rising from its roots here in Papara, Mekamui, of here, North Solomon, Bougainville, and no one will ever be able to stop it from rising and taking over our country and region. Even when the flood of Noah came upon the face of the earth, no one was able to stop it. It came until everyone realized that it was too big, too deep, and too strong for anyone to block it. It's the same thing. The financial tsunami is here already bursting out. Are you ready for it? Are you able to block it? All the new normalcy. You all know that before colonizers came upon us, the normal lifestyle on our island revolved around simple subsistence farming, gardening, feasting, ceremonies, etc., etc. We can refer to it as their normal way of life. But after the colonizers arrived, life changed and everything was transformed upside down and downside up. A new normal was introduced and accepted. What we call normal today was not normal before the arrival of our colonizers. You see, normalcy is not permanent. Normalcy can change based on the system in place. For instance, under the present Western civilization, it's normal to see people back on the streets. It's normal to see people become homeless. It's normal to see our young people involving in drugs, abuse, marijuana, and all kinds of drunkenness. Also, unemployment is normal. In the US, they have about 50 million unemployed citizens. Other countries have more or less. All this were the new normal that we had to accept with the coming of the Western civilization. We can't avoid it because it's part and parcel of the system in place. The only way to change all this so-called normal is to replace them with a new set of normals. That's where the system comes in. Only through the system we can change the so-called normal with a new set of normals. The old conventions can only be replaced by a new set of conventions. The old conventional system can only be replaced by a new conventional system. Therefore, if people think that we are introducing Uvistract is chaotic, tell them to find a way out and change the present normal if they can. I can tell you that no government on the planet can do what we are doing in Uvistract. Systems are bigger than national governments. National governments are controlled by system leads. Summary. Ladies and gentlemen, our time is running out fast. I will just summarize my brief speech soon and proceed to conducting our 23rd multi-millionaires graduation ceremony. I'd like to thank my people from South, Central, and North Bougainville who have come to empower and stand by me in the process of completing and delivering my processes. Some years ago, the Upeii came and presented to me a certain magnetic stone that is only found in the heart of the island. It's a representation of the natural magnetic power of our island. The particular magnetic stone is too powerful such that it can even pull down planes and choppers if they are flying closer to the island's magnetic field. Just last week again, on the 27th of September, the magnet was again presented to me again, the second time through Upeii's representative, David Mahin. This time, it will be with me permanently. I'm just sharing this with you to stress again that all power of our island has now been given to me by our chiefs from North, Central, and South. This last power of magnet speaks of the law of magnetic attraction and magnetic field that's going to pull all the nations and kingdoms of the world to our island, system, and region. We are in for something that eyes have not seen, nor ears have heard before. It's happening for the first time ever in the history of our planet. Some time ago, in one of my graduation speeches, I mentioned how satellite imaging confirmed that all the 12 precious stones mentioned in Revelation 21 are found on this island. You won't find them in physical Israel. You can only find them on this little dotted island. And this special magnet is just a tip of the iceberg. There's more. Finally, let me just say again that this is truly the year that Bougainville and region has been waiting for. As I always say, when the appointed time comes, everything will just work out non-stop. Nothing can hold it or delay it. I mentioned on Sky Day during our 22nd graduation that even our relationship with new ABG is just working out as planned. Remember that I signed the Twin Kingdom Agreement in 2004 and Trump Government Agreement in 2006. Over the years, Mekamui has been the only government supporting the system. From this year onwards, I can assure you that ABG will now be giving its support to the system, and we will support them. As I said before, the system is not mine, the system is not for my family, it's not for Tonu, it's not for Siwais, it's not for Mekamui, it's for everybody, including ABG. The system is for everyone, all Bougainville and all PNG, all SI, all West Papua, all Fiji, and all Vanuatu, and all the Pacific, all the Asia, and all the inhabitants of the earth. I'm only here to set it up for you and your children and posterity to enjoy it forever. You are the owners of the system. It's yours. I'm giving it to you now. starts and begins to own the system as their own, you will see great transformations taking place. It's your system. Take it and use it, and your life will never be the same again. Everything you need in life is here already, contained in the system. If you need independence, this is it. If you need freedom from foreign guests, this is it. If you need sovereignty, this is it. If you need abundance, this is it. The solution for Bougainville is here. The solution for PNG is here. The solution for Solomon Islands is here. The solution to Fiji is here. The solution for Malaysia is here. This answer to all the suffering nations of the world is here. Just in case you miss it, the answer or solution to all the world is found in the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is theocratic, not democratic. The kingdom of heaven has a hardware and software. The hardware is the government and country, and software is the system in place. Conclusion. In closing, let me give you an update on the forex and money transfers. There are hundreds of groups around the world whom I've engaged to do certain things or projects for us. Some work on the conventional side, others work on the Uvistract system. I do this because both systems must run together in parallel until such time we are able to replace the old system with our own. Just an hour ago, I had a conference with some of our technical people working on both conventional UV products. And all I can say for now is that everything is ready to explode, both from conventional as well as from our UV products. One of our exchanges in Asia is running much faster ahead of everyone else. From the progress report and transactions of funds taking place, I can assure you that it won't be too long before we receive our first converted funds here in PNG and Bougainville. These are big funds in the hundreds of millions of US dollars converted from our own currency by arrangement and agreement. These are our own unborrowed, debt-free and sovereign funds. We are only converting them into foreign currency, US dollar, and transferring them around so we can use it for trade and commerce. It will also enable our local interior currency BVK to trade so our leaders, our locals, can use their BVK cash to buy things from our stores or shops. If you want to buy things from overseas, then you can make arrangements with our banks, Central Bank, IBOM, and Community Bank, and they will organize things for you. Even our UV products that needed about 6 to 8 weeks from last month to complete the exchange is just about complete now. Same thing applies to our conventional forex system. From the progress report I received this morning, I don't think it will go beyond this month to the next because everything is ready now. This is for the appointed month. We should begin to see our converted funds in action as never before. Again, from the way I was briefed this morning, this is the month for it. It will begin this month. Let us therefore complete the graduation of our locals quickly so we can bring in our PNG, West Papua, Solomon Islands and Fiji clients, investors as soon as possible. We must complete these graduations quickly and move on to our Malaysian region soonest. Final conclusion. Finally, in closing, regarding our local politics and issues, I'm so glad and excited that we have a new ABG president in the person of Honorable Ismail Turama, who is keen to work together with everybody. My recent letter to him was received with much joy. He told my liaison officer, "Tell the king I am a new Ismail. I'm no longer the old Ismail." I'm happy to work together with him. Communication started, and tomorrow I will be sending more information and updates to ABG so they can understand things before we begin funding them. Again, our converted funds are now ready to dispatch, not only to our clients and investors, but also to our governments of PNG, Solomon Islands, Bekamoy, and ABG. Our progress on the ground is looking handsome. As you can see for yourselves, our central bank alongside our international bank and community bank are all working perfectly as designed. I'm really overjoyed happy and overjoyed to see our Central Bank Governor, Secretary Singh, Adum Governor, Albert Kubilaki, and Community Bank Governor, Asek Pinamu, and all the bankers working extra hard, preparing for things to explode. In fact, things have already exploded on the ground, as you can see. It's just the external component that we're still waiting for, so the system can explode even more. And as stated above, from the way I was briefed this morning, our international team, the external component will not go beyond this month because it's basically ready now. Finally, my word of thank you for the governors of PNG who have sacrificed to make things happen whenever I needed the assistance. Thank you, and thank you. I will not fail you and our people. Thank you again, everyone. Blessings.